Hello everyone, Tina Spalding Trance Channel here. I was getting guided to do a video for you guys today, so I want to do that. But before I get to Jesus commentary for today, I just want to remind you that we have, in a month's time, 2 retreats coming up in Europe. One in Crete, where we have a couple of spaces left in our retreat house. It's a beautiful villa overlooking the Mediterranean. Really, really beautiful location we've been to before, with catered meals, and the villa's close to a lovely town called Rethymno, where you can head down to the beach and swim in the Mediterranean if you feel so moved. We're really looking forward to that. And then a week later, we are heading to the United Kingdom. We are going to Devon, and we will have a lovely boutique hotel in the town of Torquay. And we are hoping to get more people to come. We are about at 50% capacity right now, but we'd love to have more of you join us in England. So if you're over in Western Europe and you fancy meeting some like-minded souls and maybe making some new Course in Miracles friends and experiencing the channeling in person, then do consider joining us. So you can go to channelingjesus.com. And on the homepage, the information for both of those events is there. So do go check it out. Even if you're not going to join us in person, we do have live streaming tickets available as well. So you'll see the 2 options there, either the in-person or live streaming. And the live streaming is great because you get a recording of all of the events, and of course you get to do some Q&A with us in person, even though you may be on the other side of the world. It's a wonderful thing that technology brings us, this ability to be together. So channelingjesus.com, go check those out. Now let's see what Jesus has to say to us today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. You have been through a very, very traumatic event on your planet, which some of you are starting to realize has caused some major rifts and fractures in relationships and families. But more importantly, what it is doing is bringing up into your awareness that which is out of alignment. So in your family situations before 3 years ago, there would have been these issues that you knew were there but maybe weren't dealing with. Some differences with your siblings, things you didn't agree with, some resistance to seeing them, arguments that would brew at certain times of the year, perhaps when you were visiting at Christmas or something like that. What the last 3 years have done have brought everything into sharp focus. The siblings and family members and relationships that were not in alignment came screaming into focus. And those relationships may have been completely destroyed as far as you're concerned, or maybe in abeyance in the sense that words were said or arguments were had or judgments were laid upon each other, and the relationships simply have not recovered yet, and they may not. We want to remind you that you're at the end of a spiritual season. And what happens at the end of a spiritual season is that everything within you that has not yet been resolved will come up for review and for healing. And this is what has been triggered by the last 3 years. These issues and resentments and disagreements were always there. But your social conditioning and your ability to be polite, even when you didn't want to, hid them from you. And you have seen this. You've seen that the ugly truth has been revealed, if you want to look at it that way. Now, the difficult part for those of you raised in this particular society is that you don't really have the tools to reconcile what's happened. You don't have the tools to go into a situation with someone with whom you've had a huge fight, who's called you names or accused you of horrible crimes. You don't know how to reconcile those things in person. You aren't given the training to do that. You're not a professional counselor. You're not a spiritual teacher. And so what you have to do is you have to reconcile it only in your own mind. So that means that, let's say you feel guilty because you haven't seen a family member for a couple of years. And the truth is you don't want to see them now, even though you may be able to. You may be feeling a socially conditioned obligation to see somebody, let's say, who is a couple of hours away or a country away, an airplane flight away. And yet you don't want to see them, and you realize that this goes against what you've been taught a good person should be. So what happens here is you have the choice. You have the choice to listen to your own desires or your own guidance, or you have the opportunity to listen to the conditioned teachings of your society, which say they are your relatives or they used to be your best friend. And you should want to go and see them. You should reconcile. But the only place that you can change your behavior is in your mind. So if you are feeling this kind of conflict, and many of you are, it is in your mind that you want to do the work. It is in your mind that you want to forgive them first, because your behavior can only come from what you believe to be true about the world. If you have a belief, let's say that they were wrong and you were right, and you don't really want to hang out with them, but you feel you should, so you make yourself, you are really not functioning in the frequency of love. You are functioning in the frequency of conditioning, the ego, which is not loving. And so you will feel yucky. You will feel that you're betraying yourself, or you'll feel that you're betraying them. And so you will go back and forth, back and forth. There will be resistance. There will be confusion. There will be emotional ups and downs. You don't want to make any decisions, especially major decisions about flying to the other side of the world to see somebody, for example, until you are at peace with that decision. And the only way to come to peace with that decision is to look at what's going on internally, to look at what you are saying to yourself. So it is your thoughts that are telling you a story. I don't really want to fly to France to see my auntie. She was so mean to me during COVID. I really should go see her. She's getting old. I don't know how long she'll be alive. So that's an example of two conflicting beliefs that your mind could be holding. Now, you will have a different experience. It could be people who are closer to you, friendships, these kinds of things. What you want to do is you really want to sort out what's going on in your own mind. You want to feel where this confusion is coming from. And the way you do that is by how you feel. So if you are feeling happy and relaxed and calm, then you know that your thoughts are in alignment at that time. If you are confused or angry or resentful or wish things could be different or wish other people could be different, you can understand that you have gone into the ego's thought system where judgment of the world or the people is happening. And those two aspects can never be reconciled. The ego will always judge. It will always place guilt on somebody, somewhere, because that's how separation is maintained. Separation is the feeling of disconnection from love, and it feels yucky in your emotional guidance system. So what you want to understand is you don't feel yucky because what somebody else did to you. You feel yucky because you are still in judgment about it and you are separated from them in your thinking. And your emotional guidance system is revealing that to you because it is not at peace. So the way through this, of course, with the use of A Course in Miracles as your teacher, is to do the lessons of A Course in Miracles and change your mind's focus from the world and other people's guilt or your shame, to go from horizontal thinking, which is in the battleground, battling with other egos, other minds, to go vertical, connecting to spirit, connecting to the divine, connecting to me. And in that connection, you will find peace. And as you do that, as you choose peace over war within your own mind, you will come to understand how your guidance system works and how your negative feelings are actually being generated from within your own consciousness. They always are. They're always being generated by you, identifying with the ego's stories about other people, places, and things that are wrong and should be changed. Radical acceptance of what is does not mean you want more of what is. What it means is you understand that what has happened cannot be changed, and what has happened to you is a reflection of an aspect of you. It could be, for example, that your belief in your powerlessness caused you to have an experience of being bullied by family members or governments and feeling as if you have no power, but in fact it's a reflection of your belief that you are powerless. And yet the ego will tell you the outside forces are the problem. This is an endless circular argument that will never bring you peace. Because the truth of the matter is this, is that the experiences you have in the world are an external expression of your interior condition. So your interior condition is the only place that you can change anything. And so for today, we want you to pay attention to where you lose your peace and ask yourself, what story am I telling that causes me to lose my peace? Is there a different way of looking at this? Is there a different story I can find about this? And if there isn't, then go to your Course in Miracles lessons, go to your Course in Miracles text and ask for guidance and pray for the conflict in your mind to be revealed to you. What is it that's going on here? Because many of you do not know what's going on in your own minds. And if you do not know what's going on in your own minds, you do not know why you feel the way you feel. And for more experienced Course in Miracles students, you have come to see this. That if you are agitated or upset or discontent or angry at somebody else, that it is your judgment of them and their past behavior that is causing this. And you have a choice. You do have a choice. Now, if you are completely untrained and you haven't done A Course in Miracles and you're watching this video, some of what we're saying will not make sense to you. But trust me, if you do the lessons of A Course in Miracles, you will come to understand your mind. You will come to see how hateful it can be and how attacking and judgmental it can be. And you will also come to see how it causes your own suffering. This is the purpose of this teaching. You do not need to suffer, and you do not need to make everybody else guilty. There is a path out of this hellish realm. And when you look around this world at hunger and starvation and war and poverty and inflation and unemployment and all of these things, you see that it is a hellish realm where people suffer. Together, we can heal ourselves first through the practice of A Course in Miracles, through the clarification of mind that it offers you. And it is in healing yourself and taking yourself above the battleground that you will transform the world. You will not do it through action alone. You must change the interior condition from which your behavior is arising. We so love you here from Spirit, from the other side of the veil, and we send as many messages as possible through this being and other beings who are channeling to assist you out of the pit that the last 3 years has taken many of you into. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I will speak to you again soon. I do love him. Thank you for joining me today. Once again, go check out our homepage at channelingjesus.com, and maybe we'll see you in person in a month. Bye-bye.